yeah. You're my provider, yeah, you're my provider. You are, you're my provider, you're my provider. Yeah. I will be content in every circumstance. Yeah.
All right, let me
Anything to preach your fire, but for God, His love He can't afford you. So He pours up lavishly upon you. He makes His glory shine so bright.
I think we are good. Hello, you guys. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. If you are catching this live, let me know you are here. Let me know you are here. We're going to jump on in. So welcome to Growing in Gentleness, a weekly conversation for the gentle and not so gentle parent or caregiver. I am Elise, founder of Parenting for the Culture. And if you caught my post, you know we are talking about back to school essentials. Okay, babe, that's you. What you need, baby? Huh? Okay, come on, that's fine. All right, and Gracie Girl is joining us also. But you good, baby. So yes, y'all come on in again. Let me know if you are here. And if you're catching the replay on this, just hashtag replay so I can know you caught that as well. All right. So like I said, today we are going to jump in talking about some back to school essentials as it relates to kind of just knowing our role as parents. I was talking to a friend recently and we were kind of talking about just some things. P.S. I'm sorry. Side note. Yeah. This whole time I'm talking, I may sound like I'm about to cry or something, but I'm not. I promise I'm okay. I just have like this sound like a frog in my throat. So I'm gonna be sipping my water when I get choked up. Hopefully I don't get tickled. And we'll be good, because if I start laughing about something, it's gonna turn into a coughing fit. But y'all just pray for me. All right. So again, if you are here, say something so I can see if these comments are working, because they are sometime. Anywho, we're gonna jump in. So like I was saying, for those of you who know a little bit about me, you know that I was in the education setting, still a lifelong educator. Excuse me, but I was officially in the education sector for over a decade, providing school counseling, providing family support for families, and doing small group sessions for students, just all the 9 yards. And let me see what this is saying. Hi, Don. Okay, thank you for letting me know this is working. Cool, perfect. All right, so you know that I was in that sector for a while, right? Doing all the things. And one of my favorite activities, excuse me, to do with students was this activity where they would just finish this sentence. So I would provide them with a sentence starter and they would finish the sentence. And so I did it a number of different ways, but one of my favorite ways to do it was, I wish my parents knew, and simply have them complete that sentence. And when I tell y'all that it was so eye-opening, the way that students and kids would finish that sentence, just a number of things. Like some kids will say, I wish my parents knew how overwhelmed I am. Some kids will say, I wish my parents knew how overlooked I feel. I remember in particular one student even said, I wish my parents, excuse me, are y'all praying? I said, are y'all praying? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this call, but I need y'all praying. But one particular student said, I wish my parents knew that I wish they cared for me or saw me more than their cell phone. I remember another student saying, I wish my parents knew that I wish I could talk to them. And so it was just so many insightful responses when I would have students complete that, saying what they wish their parents knew. Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. Y'all gonna have to excuse me. I will be coughing occasionally. Excuse me. But I promise I'm okay. I'm just trying to get over this cough. But anywho, thank you, Don Juan. So that was the sentence starter. I wish my parents knew. And like I said, it would give so much insight to where the kids were. And one thing I recognize, that even when I think about those students and how they would complete those sentences, it's so interesting how it was almost like there was a direct correlation with how connected they felt to their parents or their caregiver, to how successful they were in school. Not for every student, right? Like that can change based on a lot of different factors. But for the most part, how connected a child felt with their parents or caregiver directly impacted or correlated with how successful they were in school. And so it was always so insightful to see their responses. And it really had me thinking as we are getting back to school. Like I say, I know some people have started. Y'all let me know. Have y'all started where you are? Are y'all getting ready? Like, where are you with getting back to school? Excuse me, but I know for a lot of people, it's like coming up like tomorrow. Again, I know a lot of people already started, but either way, where are you when it comes to back to school? But no matter where you are, we all are still at the beginning. Okay. And I really wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about ways to be intentional about that connection. All right. Because we know that as parents, we will always, right, in some shape or form, be given correction, but connection needs to come before correction. And so I really want us to just provide us, have a little short conversation. We won't be on here long. But let's just talk a little bit about what that could look like to be intentional about that connection based on where your kids are. All right. So, okay, I see you, Cherry. So you got the 2 weeks before you start. All right. So you got a little time. You got a little time. Also, if you join, let me know what grade your babies are going to. Let me know what grade they are going to. No matter what grade they're going to, I think this will be helpful though for you. All right. So let's jump into it. So what I want us to go over is that again, no matter what grade they are in, I want you guys to be able to know like what is your ideal role in this stage. What is your most helpful communication focus? That's important. I know we all have experienced somebody talking to us, but if they're not speaking our language, it's like, baby, what you talking about? Like, I'm not hearing you, right? And that could be on a personal level. That could be like literally, if I don't understand the language you're speaking, I'm not going to comprehend. So I want us to make sure we know what is the most helpful communication focus based on the age of our child. Also, what is the primary goal when it comes to where they are? And then an ideal time to connect. All right. So we're going to hit on all four of those things. Was that four? Yes, that was four. All four of those things based on where your child is. So we can gear up for a great school year. All right. So I do have a visual for you guys. I'm going to pull that up. So for my parents, any pre-K parents listening, y'all probably the ones I said a post. I said either you excited that kids going back or you on the verge of tears. Y'all probably the ones on the verge of tears. And that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna honor those tears. All right. But for my pre-K parents, I want you to remember that your ideal role in this season, you are a coach. You are a coach. You are a coach. You are a coach. Now, when you think about the title or word coach, hopefully you think about someone who is enthusiastic, right? Hopefully you think about someone who is supportive, someone who is patient, someone who is a clear communicator, because these are literally the things that would be so important for those of us who have kids in the pre-K grade, who are going to that grade, who are in that age range. All right. And encouraging words. This is the communication style that we want to be super intentional about. And here's why. I want us to remember that limited beliefs literally start as early as 3 years old. I'm going to say that again. Limited beliefs literally start as early as 3 years old. And when I say limited beliefs, I'm talking about those thoughts that we start to see as truths that literally stop us from doing certain things, right? So those thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or I won't be able to get this, like those type of thoughts, those limited beliefs, they start as early as 3 years old. And so we want to be sure that we are encouraging and instilling purpose in the kids at this age range by letting them see how valuable they are. That's why autonomy at this age is super, super, super important, by letting them see you can make choices. You can trust yourself to make certain choices. And guess what? Even if you don't make the right choice, mom and daddy's still right here to support. All right. And so that's why this is so important. Again, encouraging them, instilling that purpose in them, and letting them know they are valuable. Again, letting them make those choices. And the ideal time to have this type of conversation, to reinforce all these coaching tactics and strategies, to reinforce these encouraging words, to eat away at those limited beliefs, is bedtime. I'm sorry, not bedtime, bath time. You see the image there. Bath time is the ideal time. Because think about that time. They use like playtime for kids that age, have some toys in the water, but just make it, fun, lighthearted conversation, encouraging, speaking life, reminding them of who they are. All right. So again, for those who have kids in this pre-K range, your ideal role at this time is a coach. All right. All right, let's go to the next one. For my parents who have kids in elementary range, y'all know this is one of my favorites. So your role is a friend. Your role is a friend. And listen, if you have been following me for any amount of time, you already know how I feel about the infamous statement in our culture of "I'm not one of your little friends." We did a whole live about it. Check that out with me and my super dope special guest. Y'all can find that. I don't know when that was actually. Excuse me, but find that from a few months ago when we talked about that, saying "I'm not one of your little friends." But here's the thing: if you have a child in elementary school, your ideal role, even when I say ideal role, I want us to remember something. I'm talking about the ideal place to have influence on your kids, because that's really all that matters at the end of the day. We don't want our kids to be afraid of us. We don't want our kids to do things because of this. Like we want to have influence on them in a way that they trust us enough to listen to us. Because if it's only rooted in fear, guess what? When they're on their own or we're not around, they're going to do the opposite of that. So we want it to be built in trust. And what is built in trust? Friendship. Trust is literally a foundational part of friendship. And so that's why it's so important, especially at this age, to be one of your kids' little friends, okay, at this elementary age, because we are literally modeling to them what true friendship looks like, what listening looks like, what accountability looks like, what responsibility look like, what growing together looks like, because all of that is literally the foundation of friendship, connection, and trust. All right. And so when we talk about communicating to kids in this age range, we want to be casual and relaxed conversations, because it really makes it easy. It makes it easy on us, to be honest, to help them interpret life, especially since, please hear me, parents, for those who have kids in this age range, at this age range, they are really trying to figure out life. All right. When it comes to those abstract concepts, things like grief, things like sexuality, things like friendship. So the question then becomes, who do we want them to be running to for answers for those questions? Hopefully us. So the more informal and the more lighthearted we make those conversations, the more likely they will be to keep coming to us with those questions. And the ideal time, I'm gonna say, I warned y'all, for those who call me from again, I said it's gonna sound like I'm about to cry some. Yeah, that's my throat. I'm okay, but let me get some water. Done, you still praying? Oh, my throat, my voice don't go out before this is over. We're not gonna be long. But anywho, when it comes to this age range, yes, baby, you go get something downstairs. I want you drinking after me. I don't think I'm contagious, but get you something downstairs, okay? Okay, thank you. I would say, what you talking about, done? What you said, class? I hope you're still praying. Yes, please don't make me laugh. If I start laughing, I'm gonna start choking. Taking me some breaths. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll be back. Okay. What was I saying? I was talking about elementary. So for my parents who have kids in the elementary range, elementary, I don't feel like I said it right. Elementary range, the ideal time to connect with them are during these car rides. Think about that, you guys. These are prime chauffeur years. Even if your kids do not, if they ride the bus, to and from school, usually, right? Typically, they are usually with us in the car just because of the age they're in. And so these are the ideal times to have those, informal conversations, have that dialogue, open up the door for communication, being open to answer their questions. setting the stage so you can ask them questions about how they think about things, how they see things. The ideal time is during the car. So I would encourage my parents who have elementary age kids, like, what does it look like to be intentional about turning off the radio, turning off the music, and like using that time to be intentional? That is the word. Gentle parenting, conscious parenting is all about being intentional, right? So, what does it look like to use that time to be super, super intentional about letting that be a time to discuss, to have those, again, informal dialogue, just kind of see where they are so they can begin to see you as someone they can come to for their questions. All right. So, something to keep in mind for my elementary aged parents. All right. And so then next we have my parents of middle schoolers. Wow, talk about a time to be alive. All right. So my parents who have kids in middle school, I want you to see yourself as a teacher. Okay. I want you to see yourself as a teacher. Reason being is because this age requires for us to naturally produce more formal conversations. Yes, baby. We're not watching anything right now. Thank you for saying that. Excuse me, though. But no, we're not watching anything right now. You can we're not watching anything right now. You have these are your options, okay? You can play in the playroom. You can go back downstairs and rest your body. Or you can just sit in here. So you have three. Which one are you choosing?
I'm choosing to play in the playroom.
Okay, that's fine. Um Formal conversations for our middle school babies. So again, they are at this age where that will naturally be the case. Yes, baby.
I can't stand up the castle.
Okay. But Kaylin, guess what? I need to finish this conversation. Okay. Everything is accessible for what you need in the playroom. So you can't get the castle, play with any of the other thousands of toys that are in there. Okay. I appreciate you saying excuse me every time you need something, but I need to go ahead and finish this, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So what does that mean?
Wait.
Yes, thank you. All right. Real time. Real time. All right. So middle school. It must be somebody on here need to hear about middle school. We're going to get through this, you guys. So middle school parents, I need you to see your role as a teacher. And again, that's because at this age, this will naturally produce more of those formal conversations, okay? As we are really helping, I'm telling you, our middle school some fun years, but as we are really helping them to root and establish themselves in their values, all right? That's the key word, their values, because the bottom line is that they may be more interested, and this is natural, this is developmentally appropriate for middle school students to be more interested in their friends' opinions than yours. That's just what it is. Okay. That's just what it is. Doesn't mean you haven't done something right. Doesn't mean you're a bad parent. Most middle school students are more interested in their friends' opinion than their parents. And that's okay. Another reason why we are establishing a solid friendship at that elementary age. Okay. But again, it's completely normal for them to be more interested in their school age friends. But here's the thing on why these formal conversations and us seeing ourselves as teacher in this age is so important. Because if we have helped them establish their values, we are literally giving them this baseline for their own decision making. So when they are among these friends who are influencing them in different ways, they'll be able to step back and try to evaluate if the decisions they are making are from their values that they have talked about with you, or if they're being influenced in other ways. Now, let's be real. This ain't happening consistently. All right. It's not. Remember, the prefrontal cortex is still developing in middle school, which means they're still going to be impulsive, which means they're still going to make some bad choices, which means like it's not going to be all peaches and cream, but that is okay. The purpose of us helping them to define their values is, again, to give them a foundation. So what does that look like? That means at dinner time, which is the ideal time to have these conversations at this age range, all right? Dinner time is the ideal time. Hopefully make that, if you don't hear nothing else, middle school parents, make that a routine to have dinner together, whatever that looks like in your family. All right. And make dinner time that time to have those conversations about what their friendships are looking like. What is their day looking like? Helping them to connect those dots from what they are experiencing to what they have named their values are. And if you need any support, there go that frog. Let me take a drink of water. Excuse me. You okay, baby? Okay, I'll help you when I get off, okay? Okay, thank you. So when we use that time like dinner time to help them really start to connect those dots on like what's happening in their friendships, what's happening, like what decisions they're making their day to day, like how does that connect to their values? And that's where I think I left off. If you are a parent in middle school who needs any support with identifying those values, hit me up in my DM and I have a something that will be helpful for you to sit down and have that conversation with helping them to identify and then establish their values. All right. So that's for our middle school parents. Your role as a teacher, having those formal discussions, helping them really establish their values so they can begin to make decisions. Because again, you're not around as often. So they can begin to make those decisions based off their values, all right, that you guys have discussed together. And then you're being intentional during that ideal time of dinner time to kind of check in and have those conversations to help them connect those dots, all right? So that's my middle school parents. And then last but certainly not least, my high school parents. I'm taking a drink of water. My voice is holding on. Praise the Lord. Dumb must still be over there praying. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, sis. All right. So my high school parents or my parents of high schoolers, your ideal role in this age, you are the counselor. See, that's why that. Yeah, let me tell you something. She over there praying. That's my voice. Holding on and holding strong. I appreciate you. All right. High school parents or parents of high schoolers. Y'all know what I'm saying. Your ideal role in this age, you are the counselor. All right. Super, super important. You want them to see you as someone they can confide in, someone they know that they can talk to, they can tell their business, and their business not going to be spread to auntie and such and such and such and such and whoever. All right. And so that's how we want them to see us as their counselor, someone they can talk to. All right. And so our communication focus at this age, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about this whole counselor ideal. Even though I know this is geared toward high school, I have to name how this type of trust starts way before high school. Hey, Gracie girl, can I share with them about what you told me and Daddy about asking you first? Okay, thank you. So, I can't remember if I know I asked her permission to share before, but I can't remember if I did or not. But something with our daughter, who is 5, is that we were at some family house and we was sharing some things that she had did or said that we thought was just so cute and so hilarious. So we shared it, everybody laughing. It's so amazing, whatever. I can't remember what it was exactly, but that was that. We get home and Gracie tells us, she like, I don't like when y'all do that. And we like, what we do, baby? What happened? She said, I don't like when y'all tell people things that I did or said. I don't like that. She don't like how it made me feel. She said, I feel like everybody laughing at me. And she's like, I just don't like that. And even though that we had to like take a step back, like, oh wow, we never thought about it from that stance. We also are so proud of her for being able to communicate to us that she did not like that. And so from there, that conversation led to, so what could that look like? And so we all brought it to the principle that we need to ask her permission before telling things that happen. And that's what we do. Yes, at 5 years old, she let us know that I don't like when y'all do that. Like, that makes me uncomfortable. I feel like everybody laughing at me. And I respect that, though. I respect that so much, to the point where now when something happened, no matter how innocent it is, how innocent it is, no matter how cute we think it is, we try to remember to ask her, can we share it? And I realize that is one way she's learning to trust us. That's one way she's learning to trust us. Now, think about how many older students I work with, to be honest, from elementary up to high school, who feel like they cannot trust their parents with certain information because again, grandma, auntie, uncle, cousin, best, like everybody else gonna know. They're like, I don't need the whole family knowing this, right? And so I'm gonna be honest, I don't always get it right. Yeah, like sometimes again, stuff be so cute and so innocent. I'll be like, oh yeah, I guess what she did, and literally one day she would pull it on my shirt like she said, you didn't ask, mommy. I'm like, you're right, baby. I apologize. So I apologize. We repair that, and we keep it rolling. And so she is showing us much grace as we adjust to this request. But again, I respect this so much, and I realize that this again is helping her trust us, taking us at our word, trusting us even before high school when I will officially be in the role as counselor for her. All right. And so I just wanted to share that because, yeah, it came to mind. So, high school parents, your role is counselor. Okay. And so, kind of going back to the same thing, our daughter helped us see like they don't want to feel like the whole family or the whole community going to know their business again, no matter how innocent or simple it feels. And so for those who have students in high school, the communication focus is though it's those intimate conversations. So those heart to hearts, because here's the thing, when you think about high school, like they are on their way out, they are on their way to creating their own path. I don't want to say out the door because we're not kicking them out just because they're 18, but they are on their way to creating their own path. And so as they grow closer to navigating the world, the goal is to build intimacy so they know they always have a home in you, no matter how far they go when they do move on. All right. And so the best time to connect to high school, again, they usually moving, doing different things, whether they working, whether they in sports or other after school activities, or just somewhere else hanging out with people. So bedtime is usually the best time to try to sit down and connect, or not even, it ain't gotta be no long sit down, but hopefully by that time, excuse me, everyone is home. And even if it's a quick check-in, like that time is the prime time to really be intentional and capitalize on the end of the day. So again, hopefully everyone is home and use that time right before bedtime. And again, it doesn't have to be this long drawn out conversation. It could literally be a check-in on their day. It could be following up on something that was supposed to happen that day. Like just simply being intentional about those intimate conversations. So again, as they go on, they know they always have a home in you. All right. And I do want to say this too, especially for our middle school and high school parents. I know sometimes, especially when we talk about these check-ins, it's so easy for us to just ask like, oh, how was your day? And yeah, I know the response. What's the response? It was good. It was straight. It was okay. These one word response. I want us to be intentional this school year about not asking how was your day. Throw that question out the window. All right. Let's not ask how was your day. Let's be more intentional about opening up doors for conversation. So let's ask things like those more open-ended questions. What's something that made you excited today? What's something that irritated you today? Who made you smile today? Right. So let's be more intentional to get a view into their world by asking more intentional questions. Okay, those are just a few examples. So just think about an emotion and you can tie that to the question. What made you angry today? Like what's something, like just being intentional to again get a peek into their world. So let's throw how was your day out the window. All right. We all know what that leads to. It's a dead end street. All right. And let's be more intentional with those questions to again get a glance inside of their day. Okay. Make sense? Y'all with me? I have some people still on. Let me know if y'all with me. Or if you have any questions about anything that was shared. My voice made it. My voice made it. All right. So if there are no questions, that is all, you guys. I just want us to really be intentional about starting this school year, knowing our role, because again, some of the most successful students I have worked with, and sometimes it's another adult, and that's sometimes okay too, right? When it comes to like people having relatives or school teachers who they feel like is that trusted adult figure in their life. But it's even more powerful when it is the parent or caregiver who that child feels connection to, that has really proven and has really shown to be one of the underliers for success in schools. So I just want to remind us that we have so much influence. We have so much influence, and our job is to steward it well. That's our job. That's our job. So the heart, or one of the foundational truths of gentle parenting and conscious parenting, is that we try to steer clear from using tactics that involve pain, aggression, or fear. Because even though they can alter behavior, they just don't work in the long run. And if they do work in the long run, it it hinders the relationship. It breaks the connection with our kids. And so when we're able to identify what is our role, we're able to be intentional about how we're communicating from that role and know the goal of that stage of our kids' life. We are literally building a connection with our kids to where again they trust us more, they talk to us more. Discipline is still there. Yeah, I know that, right? We may have to revisit what discipline is. It's all still there, and the connection is also there, which is what's most important. And so I hope you guys are able to take away what you needed from this time. Feel free to drop in the comments. What's your role? Matter of fact, before we go, somebody tell me, what is your role? What is your role? Excuse me. What is your role right now? Anybody? Anybody? I see y'all looking. Somebody tell me, what is your role right now? Whew. Thank you, Lord. My voice held out. Y'all not gonna tell me. Y'all that's on here looking. Y'all not gonna tell what your role is. What is your role right now? What did you learn your role is for this upcoming school year? That's a new one. That's a new one. I would love to hear you kind of expound on that. Okay. And I like that though, when you said counselor also. Okay. Come on. Oh, high school. What? Okay, come on, counselor. But I would love to hear you talk more about the first one you said also. Okay. So yeah, so listen, we know our roles. We're going to be intentional. Thanks for chiming in. We're going to be intentional about operating in those roles. We're going to be intentional about focusing in on that primary communication style. And we are going to accomplish these goals. And our kids are going to be so successful this year. I pray so many blessings over all who are listening when it comes to your baby starting this upcoming school year. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And so thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, until next time, keep growing in gentleness. Y'all have a good one. Bye.